Okay, so let's look at, how about one of these kind. Okay, is that a good kind to look at? Okay, so what do we do with this? Okay, there we go, perfect. Okay, so when we want to do something like this, we're going to, yeah, do you want to do the test? You can go next door. See if she, I think she'll let you in next door. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Where do they go? Let's just put them about right here. Come up and grab one if you need it. Oh, okay, that's how you do it. Okay. Okay, so what we want to do then, we got to input the absolute value function, right? So we just go up to y equals, now I'm making a video of this. Notice that the buttons I push are red. So you can see whenever I push a button, it shows up as red on the calculator. So y equals, let's clear that guy out of there. We're just going to put this function in, right? And so we go negative 2.2. On the 84s, remember we have a shortcut to the absolute value function. We just go alpha F2, and it's the first option, so I'll just hit enter. Okay, it gives me the absolute value bars. X plus 3.7. Got to get out of the absolute value bars, so I hit a right arrow to get out of the absolute value, and then I add 1.1. And if I hit enter, that should look, yeah, I have to scroll to the right to see the whole thing, but that should look like it, like that, right? Okay, now for y2, what do I put? Negative 3.9, very good, so negative 3.9, enter. And then I want to see the graph. So what do I do to see the graph? I could push graph, but I'm going to hit zoom 6. The first time I turn a calculator on, I don't know what the graph was last time, right? I don't know what the window was. So we'll go zoom 6, which is zoom standard. It resets the graph, and it may not work. In this case, it does work. As long as I can see both of those intersections, I don't have to mess around with the window at all. Right? Zoom 6? Zoom 6, yeah. That's zoom standard. Okay, now, what if, I almost wish it hadn't worked so well. What if I wanted to change the window? What if what if the intersection had been over here somewhere instead? How would I? Okay, then I'd have to go to the window. Now, which part of the window would I have to change? If I want to scoot my screen over, if I want to extend it to the left to see that intersection, which part is that going to be? X min, X max, Y min, or Y max? X min, good, because this is the X axis, and I want to extend along the X axis in that direction towards bigger negative values, right? So that's going to be the left side or the minimum side. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so I'm just going to change that to something, instead of being negative 10 like it is here, I might make it negative 20 or something to extend it. Like the Y minimum 20. And right, and if I needed to go down here further, I could extend Y minimum to a bigger negative number, like negative 20 or something, right? Okay, but I can see them both here. So once I can see the intersections, then remember I just go second calc, and which one do I want? Intersect. So I pick 5, and then I just hit double enter. So enter, enter, until I get to where it says guess. And then when it says guess, that's where I have to trace over next to one of the intersections. So I'm actually pretty close right there, aren't I? So that's probably close enough. If I hit enter now, see, it still wants to guess. I haven't, it's saying guess question mark. Until I actually hit enter, it's not giving me an answer. But once I trace over next to where the intersection is and I hit enter, then it changes and it says, okay, now it tells me intersection. So this actually is the intersection. Those are the coordinates, right? And so this is one of the x coordinates that I want right there. So I'd enter rounded to the nearest thousandth. That's how many decimal places? 3. So I'd enter negative, whoops, gotta go up here. I'd enter negative 0 point, is that a point? That's a point. Yeah, point, oh darn it, I messed it up, didn't I? Can I do it again? Shoot. So, second, calc, 5, enter, enter, and I already made my guess, so. 1, negative 1, oh, not 0 point, 1 point. 1.427. Okay, the next digit's a 2, so I don't round up to 7, right? 2, 7. Then what do I put to separate that from comma? Okay, comma. And then what do I do to get the other one?
You have to press.
Okay, good. I have to just repeat that process right after find the other intersection. So second, calc, 5, double enter. And then when it says guess, now I've got to trace over here somewhere next to that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys can just hold that thing down. It's way easier on the actual calculators. Okay, that's probably close enough. And I can find out when I enter that guess. Okay, it worked. It put the cursor on that intersection, the one that I wanted, and those are the coordinates, right? So the other one then is negative 5.973. Good, because it's 972, but the next digit's a 7, so that rounds the 2 up to a 3, right? So 5.973. Okay, and I can check that. That's right. Okay, make sense? Okay, so that's how we do those. Let's look at, how about, let's look at a regression one too.
What's this program, or this problem called?
Linear regression,
Oh,
this one, yeah.
No, the last one.
The last one, I don't know what you'd call it. It's just using the calculator to intersect. You know, a horizontal, to intersect a function with a y value, I guess what you call it. I'm not sure what you call it. Okay, so there we can see all the, and what are we trying to find? We want to find the value of y when x is 23, right? So this is one of those where we got to put the data in, and we're going to do a best fit line. So we're going to do regression. So we got to go, to get to the regression stuff, we got to go stat, edit, all right, until we see L1 and L2. I'm going to go up and clear that data out. So I just go to L2, hit clear, enter, not delete, enter, remember. L1, clear, enter. And then I'll just enter all that data. So the X's are 1, 4, 6, 10, 13. 1, enter, 4, enter, etc. Okay, once I get all the X's in, scoot over and put in the corresponding Y's. You know this stuff. Okay, once I get all the data in, where do I go?
Second stat.
Stat,
Stat calc.
Stat Calc 4, that's it. So Stat Calc 4 gets me there, and you guys will see the fancy one, right? You'll see the one that'll have all the lines that'll say, you see all those different rows. The only thing we gotta do here that's different, if I just hit enter, it gives me the regression information. So for the other regression problems, if it's not asking me to actually find a y value, I can just hit enter and it tells me M and B, and I'm done, right? But for problems like this, I need to store the best fit line, I need to store the regression equation as a variable. I wanna store it as y1. So you guys with the fancy 84s would go down to where it says store regression equation, right? I think it's like the fourth line down.
Yeah.
Third or fourth line down. And you gotta put in a y1. Remember how we do that? There's a shortcut. Alpha F4 is the pop-up Y menu. Just choose y1, hit enter. It does the regression stuff. Right, so it tells me there's M, and there's B, right? Because there's the form y equals mx plus b. They call it A instead of M, but same thing. But now it's in the y editor as y1. I'm gonna go ahead and clear out y2 because we don't need it for this problem. But it changed y1 into that line, the best fit line. You gotta remember though, if you're doing more than one of these, every time you change your data, you have to go back and restore y1. Or you're using the old line. And that's, you see what I'm saying? That's a really common mistake. So now we'll just go, we got to graph this. But we know that the x value we want to input is 23, right? Then we're gonna see where the line is when x is 23. However, I don't know if my window is set up to include 23. It's probably not. If I go to the window, look, my window is only set to use x values between -10 and +10. So real quick, so the last thing I have to do, we're almost done. I'm gonna change x max to be like 30. And once I do that, I just go zoom 0. So the calculator will fit the y values. There's my line. All I gotta do is hit trace 23, and there's my answer. Okay, make sense? All right, we're good.